Cleaner is directed by Martin Campbell and stars Daisy Ridley as a window cleaner who gets trapped on the outside of a skyscraper as the people inside are taken hostage. Basically, it's just Die Hard, but John McClane is on the outside of the building. Truth be told, I had no anticipation for this movie because I had never heard of this movie, despite the fact that it's directed by the same man who brought us GoldenEye, Casino Royale, and Green Lantern, and stars Daisy Ridley, who, despite all the things that you can say about the Star Wars sequels, and trust me, there's a lot you can say about them, the acting is never the worst thing about them. So I definitely went into this movie with median expectations, and honestly, this film ain't half bad. I was honestly shocked by the fact that throughout the majority of this film, I was having a good time. First and foremost, as I was alluding to earlier, the acting in this film is really good. Everyone in this film has a lot of great chemistry and a lot of great energy to their performances. Not only in the comedic scenes and the action-heavy scenes, but also in a lot of the dramatic scenes. There is a lot of personality to each of the characters in this film, and I actually found myself enjoying the majority of the characters, whether they be the protagonists or the antagonists. The direction and editing is also really good. I noticed in the beginning of the film there were a lot of really great comedic edits, and that really made me hopeful for at least the comedic portions of the film going forward. But the action-oriented moments in this film are also really good. The choreography is great, there's a lot of great wide shots, plus there are even some really cool kills and really surprising kills in this film. But yes, there are definite flaws with the film as a whole, one of which being the writing. The writing in this film is not very good and relies a lot on expositional dialogue. You don't really need it in this film. The characters' actions actually speak volumes to who they are, and we don't really need the word-for-word profiles of each of their backstories. Along with that, the weird thing is, there's barely any action in this film. It feels like all of the action sequences happen at the last third of the film. I mean it, that's when Daisy Ridley's character fights all of the henchmen, fights the big bad guy, and to virtually have no action in the majority of the film and to just shoehorn all the action sequences that they could possibly get out of this film into just the last 30 minutes just feels weird, like they were focusing so much on the thriller aspects of this film when writing it, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh my god, this is also supposed to be an action film and we don't have the time to rewrite the whole script. We gotta get this in there now! It feels odd and weirdly rushed, and despite the fact that this film is directed by, again, the guy who brought us Casino Royale and stars the main lead from one of the biggest franchises in film history, this film feels oddly cheap. The music in this film is completely forgettable and feels like something you would just pick out from a royalty-free website. And a lot of the moments where Daisy Ridley is outside of the building just hanging on for dear life, the effects used on the green screen or the blue screen or whatever they had her acting in front of looked so fake. Just how drastically different the lighting on her face was compared to where the lighting in the background was really threw me off. But if I'm being honest, the more that I harp on this film's flaws, the more that I feel like I'm nitpicking. Because at the end of the day, I did enjoy this film, and it really did surprise me. Sure, there are definite flaws in the film, especially when it comes to the writing, but overall, this film really shocked me by just how well acted it was, how interesting I found the characters to be, and honestly, how good the action was. For a film that's essentially just a Die Hard ripoff, it is better than it has any right to be. I'm gonna give Cleaner a B-. Thank you all so much for watching. You guys are the best, and don't forget to click subscribe and click the bell icon down below to stay up to date on all things movie, all things TV, all things nerd.